either. What I want to get to you guys right now is the level of importance gathering of deities. I'm here hoping to find someone in Central Florida to work with. I'm taking care of it tonight. Don't worry. I'm eight cylinders right now. I can't even tell you how clear my brain is right now. But I just got more of this modafinil. You guys want to look it up if you're having a hard time thinking, hard time focusing, brain fog, and all that stuff. This really just it puts your brain into like a Windows thing where you're able to pull, extract, and like put everything back on the shelf that it belongs on. That's kind of what it does to my brain for me, and I've been very productive in my life while doing this. So. But I want to bring up the importance of what we're dealing with right now, and when I say importance, like it is, I never thought that it was going to turn out to be such a big thing, and the reason that it's such a big thing, for it being such a big thing, we what I was after is, these sons of bitches are spraying us all with this stuff. I know it's there. I know what it might be. And I think it could be this. It's barium. What do you mean? It's aluminum. And we're all talking about all these old age things that they've been using for imaging systems forever. Aluminum. They've already done all this with aluminum. That's why aluminum was always being sprayed onto everything, because infrared reads it, radar reads it, right? Military systems, everywhere that they spray that shit, military infrared visualization systems, right? That's what aluminum has always been used for. Barium. You have an upper GI tract problem. Guess what? They make you swallow this special milkshake of barium. Why? Because they can see it and how it moves through your body, right? So you've got to think about what this has all been, cesium and strontium and all that stuff, like how it all really works into what I'm about to tell you right here. And this is going to be a very important video. So I'm going to leave this one public, but I know people are complaining they can't see. The video that I put up was for top tier founders in this group. And I'm going to lay out for you guys the importance of what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. They want us all lit up. Yeah. Infrared reads everything. Yeah. I don't want to read any more of these. So the importance now, when I say worldwide, it's the globalist thing, right? And I mentioned before that I had a calling from God in a way. The little girls in Texas, make more of the paint can things. And that's not a lie when I say that. When I say it was like a calling from God, like for some reason, some just struck me, go build these things. Like, cause I had it twirling around in my mind since the first one, right? It was just one of those things I always had up on a shelf. And I said, start making the paint out of paint cans. Paint cans would be perfect, right? And I started doing all this other stuff, and I opted out of certain things. I'm like, well, that can't work. This could work, right? And I'm reading about piezoelectrical energy, the pyramids and the energy of the pyramids and why that all works. And this whole idea I started getting about the stars and all that stuff, so you guys don't understand what we're doing here. I hope you can by the end of this video. I'll do the best that I can, and I feel pretty crisp right now. So usually my brain is all over the place. I woke up, I was in a complete fog. Yesterday I woke up and something happened, a snap in the middle of the day where my brain just kind of died, and I was like, I forgot so many things that I was just right on top of in the middle of that day. Like out of nowhere, my brain just emptied itself, and I couldn't think of anything yesterday. Hey, Omi, what's up? You still didn't message me and tell me who you are. I'm dying to know. Um, so, I was so happy that this delivery came today, and I'm boom, like boom. I can't even tell you the level of clarity in my brain right now. I've got like 8 different fucking windows open, and I know where the music is coming from. That's how I feel right now. So I did this corporately years ago, and man, oh man, and what a productive effect for me, for me. I've got friends that are doctors and surgeons and biochemists and stuff like that, but the subscription was standing for a long time, and they just reinitiated what I had previously from my own family doctor. But so anyway, the level of importance in this is these bastards have given up. They've given up where I'm at for today anyway, right? But I'm looking at this valley where I have everything pretty much partitioned off against static charge. That's the delivery system. Water, water vapor, static and water vapor together. There's your clouds, right? So you are drawing the static out of the sky. The clouds are no longer formulating and raining on things, you know? So when I said the Air Force being over my house all the time, the little black helicopters all the time, 3 times a week. I had one right here. It looked like it landed on the goddamn island out in the middle of the river in front of my house today. Wop, 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 wop. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Doesn't show up on the radar because it's literally in the valley of the river below the treetops. So I don't want to go there and like get everybody all freaked out, like, oh, what do you mean? Like, because it gets scary at the beginning, but once you realize you're not doing anything wrong, because the government and all these corporations who are, you know, who this should be illegal for this type of behavior, right? They're not doing what we're claiming that they're doing. They're not doing it. It's not there. So don't fucking worry about it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your property. Take care of everything around you. I'm going to explain to you clearly what happened today for me. And I usually use the analogy, be completely unafraid of any of it. Fuck them, you know? So, like to the death, you have to think that way, to the death. Make up your mind now and you figure out what side of things do you want to be on. You know, like that's literally where we're at right now. Let corporations and greedy fucking idiots rule the world, right? Let them do it. No, I'm not letting them do it. I never let anybody bully me in my life. I'm not letting that happen. I don't give a shit what they have, what college degrees they have, what kind of military, what kind of guns, right? If I die, I die, but I am going to live a good, healthy, long, clean life, and I'm going to enjoy my family throughout the totality of it, right? So my granddaughter had a kindergarten graduation today, and I went to the kindergarten graduation, and I usually always sit up in the back, like somewhere near the back row. And all these kids are they're beautiful. They're shining. They're doing their thing. And, you know, you got the composer teacher out there and they're singing their little songs, looking beautiful, like little kids do with their little thick glasses and, um, missing teeth and all the stuff you know, kindergarten kids look like. Is just the beautiful thing of life that you love to see, right? And the only thing I could think of as all these people in front of me. Now, this is a very weak demographic in this town that I grew up in. It's called Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. Nanticoke, Nanticoke. I could spell that because my daughters were cheerleaders. And they had to spell it in their songs. But so I'm watching these people and this demographic. Like it's a throughway town where people come from New York City. They come from New Jersey. They come from anywhere else because this is the cheapest place to land. That's why they come there. And so, like, as a wrestling coach or a football coach or anything, like, you'd have these guys that you'd be, you'd put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy and inspiration into to get the best yield out of that, you know, athlete or whatever. And the next year they're not there. You're like, hey, where's what's his face? You know, and yeah, well, he moved. They went to somewhere. Right? We have mountaintop is like that's where all the hoity-toity people live. You're moving on up to the east side. You know, they get the hell out of here whenever they can afford to. You know, so it being that kind of town, you know, this throughway town, that's the demographic that's usually here. The people that it's the economy version of what people are meant to be. You know, it's only Monday, Shane. I don't know what you mean. What are you getting at? Um, so I'm watching and I see, you know, I just see all these people. It's not the cream of the crop. It's not the people with the college educations. The you know, everybody's a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer, and you know, like it's not the gated community. It's like a small little old coal miner town. Broke. It's always been broke, and it's the reason that I moved there was that you know my mom was a single mom growing up, so the depth of where I'm going here should be a clear line for you guys to see exactly what is so important here. These people all pick up their cell phones, and they're I'm just looking across this crowd. I mean, and I'm going to put this in the article that I write up on my the most censored online page, but I'm going to write up something on there as well with a clear explanation. And I do a little bit better when I'm writing than I do by voice, because I can never grasp everything. I'm trying to think for the side notes and whatever else. I'm actually doing it today, which is pretty wild. But so anyway, now I'm looking at them with all their phones up, and they're all recording these little kids, and these people are thinking, I want to get a picture, I want to get a visual, I want to get a video, I want to hear their little song and remember how cute they are for eternity on my digital device. That's the battery's going to die one day. That phone is going to get smashed, and guess what? I don't have the memories anymore. Nothing's written in stone. You don't have the old school tape recorders and things like that. And so that's just one thing that's going through my head. You're recording this onto a digital device. Number one. Um, you're watching all these little kids now doing what they do, being little kids. Um, there had to be half the crowd with a phone screen I could see from where I was standing, up and pointed right at these kids. It's the backbone, right? So where we're at is our own fault. It's our own neglect of our due diligence, what we should be doing, in our pursuits of, I want to be happy today. I live, laugh, love. Let's go have a beer. It's golf day. I'm not doing anything. Stay the hell away from me. I'm not thinking about it. Not that I'm not working on anything. This is literally what I dedicated my life here. Right? No matter, at any cost, whatever the people in town think of me. I got friends that are state policemen or whatever, right? They watch these videos and go, "Oh, he fucking lost his mind," right? And I don't care. I'm standing my ground on all of it. I'm concreted in. I've given my life to this. At this point, I think that we all deserve the ability and the capability of being able to see what's actually there. And once you see what's actually there, you have a fighting chance. But if you're going, oh, it could be this and it could be that, I'm fucking terrified. The whole world's falling apart. I don't know anything about anything. Oh, it's graphene. The vaccines right. They're killing everybody and whatever. Right. All the fear porn that you see floating across the internet has just got you fucking peaked on what level of tension you're able to absorb. You don't want to think about it anymore. You don't want to talk about it. You're just like terrified. What's the next move I make? Are they watching me and all that stuff? Like, the answer for that is yes, but um, it's not as bad as you think it is, and you have control over it. We have control over it. We can do something about it. And this isn't a sales point. This isn't a sales pitch. If you don't know how to do this paint can thing yet, fucking figure it out fast. Figure it out fast and do it. And keep doing it over and over and over again. Teach everybody around you how to do it over and over and over again. And this is what I'm calling the black helicopter crew. As I'm talking about the helicopter landing in front of my house today, or being down below the trees, whatever. Air Force doing hairpin turns around my house, around my property, specifically in the area where there's a blue hole in the sky. They work. Don't question it. Don't, hey, I'm a little skeptical, man. That's $200. I would give it to you all for free. I've done this last year. I've showed everybody last year, but I didn't realize the overall importance of what we're doing here. With such clarity as I was standing there watching it happening today. It is a full clarity thing. The phone is up. The parent's like, "Hey, I love my kid. This is awesome." My ego is feeding itself, right? The way that it does. Why am I doing that? I'm so proud of them. Look, how many of the fibers on those kids' clothes. So I want you to think about something like this. You watched the movie The Matrix before. They show all these digits and these streams and like this coding thing in green numbers and letters or whatever, right? And then suddenly out of this screen emerges a face built out of those code streams, right? And it's Neo, right? So um, this is what is being built. This is what is right now being built. And it's been for a while, right? The aluminum was a part of it. Aluminum cans, radiation, FM radio, same time, all of that. If you've seen the earlier videos, and I'm sick of being the people. I know I got like 10 messages today. I can't see any of the old videos. Where's the one about how to build the paint cans and all that stuff? Um, so now you start thinking about this framework being built, and we're doing it, right? We're doing that. So the cameras are up, the children are on the stage. They all how many of them got their clothes from Amazon or Walmart or wherever, right? Um, the cleaning substrates or detergents. It's a public auditorium for a high school. How often do the janitorial people go through using the least expensive detergents that the school could find commercially to do this type of work? Graphene based solution, right? So now you're sitting in a bunch of seats coated in graphene. There's a bunch of parents standing around. They wash their hair with some form of graphene, right? This is no joke. This is literally what I've done across multiple platforms, so it's real hard to isolate all of it. You can go and look this up yourself. Look up what is graphene used in, and then start reverse asking your questions. What products can graphene be used in, or something like that? Just word it differently. Ask an AI bot, right? That's not going to kill you. So, shampoos, soaps. The phones themselves. What do you watch the screen on your phone with? The Now I have explained before that infrared thing on the back of your camera, on the camera on your phone. I don't know if this phone still has any charge to it. It's been sitting here for a while since I got the laptop going. Um, so I just lined out a few things for you here, right? And the school just went and they updated the this auditorium. They changed all the fabrics out, brand new. Where did they come from? What are the fabrics that those seats are made out of? The carpeting, right? What is the carpeting made out of? Makeup is coated. It's built with it. Yeah. Makeup is a huge one, right? Because that lines your face. So I'm going to show you guys here with this other phone what I'm talking about. All right. This is an old phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G. This is my old phone I thought was broken. Now, what else could be in that room? The LED lights, right? Public, federal funding for a school, federal funding. What's so you guys are going to go and rebuild on something. So now, like all through from COVID forward, you started seeing all this grant money just getting fucking fired at people, no matter where they were at. $12.5 million to a small plane airport next to me. That's what went to that this year. They just announced that the other day on Facebook. It was a thing by the Luzerne County, is the county that I live in Pennsylvania. Luzerne County Airport funding. Look that up and you'll see this story about it. $12.5 million for this dilapidated old runway. It's just a grass thing that's been there since I'm a little kid. The fucking same dusty old airplanes and busted up hangars are still sitting there from when I was a little kid. They look exactly the same way they did 40, 50 years, 40 years ago at least. So where is all that money coming from? The federal government. All right, so we'll give your town this money. Internet connection is unstable. I hate this goddamn shit. So federal funding starts getting pumped into all the schools. Federal funding for your town, right? What do they have to build back with, right? We're going to build back better. Why do we need to build back? Well, blue sky, or that's not blue skies. What the hell's the name of that? What the hell's that kid's name that was on the Sean Ryan show? Anyway, the cloud seeding company. They go and they spray the hell out of Texas. Texas gets wiped out with a flood. All of the infrastructure gets destroyed. The sewage, it's just the federal government's got it. Don't worry, guys. We'll give you the money to rebuild everything that happened there. We can't give you your 100 daughters back, right? But we'll give you money to fix the town, right? Asheville, North Carolina, probably the same type of thing. So they go in, they cause the damage, and what do people have left to build with? Well, if they banned incandescent lights and left you only with the option for LED, light emitting diode, with a microchip in it with a specificity to the range of frequency that it emits to be absorbed by graphene as photovoltaic, just like solar radiation, solar panels. They collect energy and redistribute it, but rather than collecting it, it's emitting it, it's utilizing it, right? So they destroy these places. Lahaina, they destroy the what the hell? It's not over in California. Whatever the fires that they had, right? The smart attack. They had smart meters on their houses. I know personally the smart meters are what caused those fires in California. That last big thing. So you don't have to agree with me. I can't go through and validate all the ways that I ended up coming to that as a conclusion. At this point, that's a 3-year-old thing. I think that, like, within the same week, I figured out the whole thing. Like, wow, the only thing that makes all of those things the same is the smart meters that have been on those homes since 2007, right? So, now, anyway, you talk about destroying places and, you know, what are we going to build back with? Smart infrastructure. That's all that's there. Self-monitoring, assessment, and reporting technology. That's it. That's DARPA. So the world that DARPA built 25 years ago is coming to fruition now. Smart technology, reporting technology. That's what's happening right now. So as you reconstruct your dilapidated city or town or whatever where you live, you're doing it with the devices that they're using all of these technologies for, right? All these technologies are for gathering the data, real-time data acquisition on everything across the board, everything digital, everything smartwatch, everything about your biometric data, right? Your AirPods, again, right? Walking EEG, brainwave data in hertz. So they taught AI how to read the language of wavelengths, right, in all these different forms. But since they did that, they might know minor things about you. What it's compounded by is graphene. So graphene compounds the effect of all of those different forms of radiation. So even though AI can read, it needs a receiver of that specific type or that specific range. If you've got a smart meter on your house, it can measure electrical values. If you've got a smart watch on, it can measure biometric values. If you've got a sensor of some sort for infrared, which would be your security cameras, your Roomba inside the house. Infrared out, receiver in. Let's hook our vacuum cleaner up to the internet. The fuck for, right? Like, how did we not see this a long, long time ago? I mean, I saw it a long time ago, but like, how is there not a lot more people understanding what's going on with graphene here? The graphene is the big part of all of this. That's the biggest part of all of this up there anyway, right? So, that's one of the side notes. Those are the ones that crush me here. So anyway, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Now I'm going to put this old ass phone on, okay? And I'm going to show you on the back, even the current phones, more so on the current phones, the new phones. So I'm opening the camera. All you see, okay, that's just that camera looking at me. So you want to talk about the black mirror, right? The black mirror. What is the black mirror? That's the other side. The other side, the black mirror, is this digitized framework. That's the black mirror. What I'm doing right here, that's the digitized framework. AI is picking this up. So as I'm going for it, the voice recognition data, it analyzes every freaking word out of my mouth as I talk about all these different topics. Analyzes them all. It knows on the spot, boom, shut it down. Can't let them talk about that, right? That's going to a bad place. We don't want that there. We've watched it. How many videos have I done so far on here? The ones I've done on Facebook, just cut right off, dead, right? So there's real-time data analytics, your voice and everything, right? Howdy from deep inside Mark Twain. All right, so look, I don't know if this phone had it or not. I know the one that I'm recording on right now does. So that's the camera. I just have it open. It's only a regular camera. It's not on video. You can see. Okay. What the hell is this? Oh, a red dot. I thought there was infrared on that side. Maybe there is. I don't know. You can't see the infrared. So everybody's complaining about their eyesight going bad, right? Their eyesight, oh my God, I'm getting like cataracts and stuff. The amount of infrared radiation around us right now is crazy. So I'm going to put this camera lens right up to the other one and see if it has any infrared in it. No, it doesn't. And that's the other thing too. You want to get a clear shot at my voice. What I've noticed with Substack, and I thought it was really cool, that airplane that's going over me, that's a twin engine airplane over me right now. Can you guys hear that or no? Are you able to hear that? Somebody say yes or no. Can you hear it? So it does a real-time analysis, and before this video is done being processed, all of that side noise is cut out. You can't hear it? Yeah, so it's real time then. It's basically real time. That's why they create that lag. They keep that lag there. Right? So I'm like, yay, they can hear my voice clear. No. It's to analyze what I'm saying before they allow it to flow into the ears of other people. Don't hear the airplane. It's definitely out there. So I've done videos before where I would be cutting something, and in the live video, I'd be cutting something, trying to explain how to make the paint cans. The sound of the saw would be deadened by it, and the only thing you could hear me talking over the saw or the drill press, like. And I'm like, oh man, this might not play. And then I'm like, as I'm rewatching the video, like, wow, it cut out all of that background noise. So AI can still listen to everything that I'm saying now, right? So now I have the camera still on here, and I put this. Hold on. I think it's this one here. I'm not sure. Hold on. Oh, it's out of the camera. No wonder. There, I have to turn the camera back on. It fizzled out on me there. So let me get this. I think it's that one there. Come on, man. Have you guys seen me do this before? What I'm talking about right here? Here, let's do it this way instead. I'm going to put the other camera on the other opposite side. It'll be easier, I think. All right, watch now. You're looking at the back of the phone. Camera's still on. There it was. See it? See it? See the purple? It's right here. Watch. That's an infrared signal coming out of this phone. And I keep going the opposite. This is so hard to do because everything is always backwards. Can you guys see that or no? So that little purple blink is real time. There it is. All right. Unless that's the one off my other phone. I think that's the one off of this phone. I think that's the one off of this phone. God damn it. Well, anyway, then I could show you off of this phone. There you go. All right. So that infrared light right there, that's what I'm showing you. As my phone is on and it's recording, but so it's reading. It's live. It knows whether the camera is on or not. As far as like if you're recording or not, as soon as you flip your camera app open, that's there. There are people that have done searches on the internet for how do I disable the infrared on the back of my camera? And then they give this big argument and all this stuff. So the point that I'm getting at here, graphene is red in different ranges of frequency that it puts out. It's kind of like endorphins in your body. Everything has a vibratory feature to it. If it's an endorphin or, drugs or pheromones from flowers, right? There's a specific vibration that's picked up by the cilia in your nose. That's the reason that you smell, is due to vibration and the sensitivity to all of that vibration, right? One way or the other. So That vibration now in all of these, the graphene itself as a nanotechnology or graphene coated something intentionally, right? The different levels or different sizes that are utilized for whatever those processes or products are. That's all different ranges of frequency, but it's able to differentiate between one thing and another thing, right? Tuning forks, I don't know what for. Um, so what I'm telling you here, right? And this, I've already said it all before for sure. Um, what I'm telling you here is they are legitimately right now in real time. This is the framework to build this AI network that is going to rule the world. That's that. Stopping graphene is going to be extremely difficult, right? Like I could go and say, oh, well, graphene is a great market. It's hand over fist every time there's a cash in available. I can keep making money on it. So this is where the principal over profit part of you comes in, right? Are you a shitbag asshole person that says, hey, I can make $1 million, fuck everybody else, or are you the person that says, I don't want the $1 million? Like, Jesus, man, you guys are taking us into something we're never going to get out of if we let this keep going that way. Right. So you are at the crossroads right now with what I just told you. That's for real. That's how serious all of this stuff is with the paint cans. So there's a two-part punch in what they're doing up there. The first part, you need an adhesive. So you have to have an adhesive. That would be silicone, right? So silicone caulking I have here. If I want to put a countertop on somebody's new cabinets that I just installed, I usually take silicone as the adhesive and I run that over the top of those cabinets, right? Yeah, raising our vibrations doesn't do any of this stuff here, deities. This is all controlled, and it's, the level of vibration they have far outweighs anything that we have. Like, we're legitimate. I'm not laughing at you. I'm saying, like, I was there. I've been through all that. You got to get on the hardcore. Like, we're looking at the science that they're creating for all of this stuff. Like, we've got to I saw this. There's a lady named Cindy Niles. You guys should look up. She's such a great writer, and she was a huge influence on me on Facebook. Very smart lady. Australian, used to be a school teacher, but she does such a great job with how technology is doing what it's doing right now and how they're using it to do what it's doing right now. So anyway, the silicone thing. So now the Stardust Solutions company comes out, and they're like an Israeli-based company. We're talking about Israel and the military merging, the American military merging with Israel. Well, guess what? All the politicians, Israel friendly, right? That's no brainer. Well, now if the military merges with them, then what? Right? Who are all the generals going to probably be? And so if you remember what happened if what I said about World War II, Hitler wasn't who he said he was on either side. Hitler was one of them. Create the illusion is what he did, right? He funded, intellectually funded the people with, hey, I'm your savior. I'm here to do the right thing. We're all good Christians. We don't want all this nasty sexual stuff and perversion and all that stuff. Get the hell out of here. And we don't want your Jewish money, right? Like he does a great job of turning the entire German population against the people who have oppressed Germany from within, right? Which was basically them. And it's not, again, it's not Jewish people. It's not Jewish people. So don't go getting all nutty with you need to drop your religion at this point, no matter what your religion is. If it puts you into a corner where you got to hate someone else over it, you got to drop it, right? Because everybody right now needs you to be in your best state of mind without any bias. There is a clear right and wrong, life or death, right? Like you have to look at things this way. And what side do I want to be on? Do I want to promote life and happiness and healthiness? Do I want to be on the other side where, I'm doing good? Fuck them, right? So, um, Hitler got all the German men to stand up to create a vacuum of morality and capability in the population of Germany. Ever since, it's never been corrected. So Hitler got all these good German men to stand up. Well, guess what? All the officers they identified, all the Nazi officers identified as Ashkenazi, right? So the Ashkenazi. Um, so whether it was intentional and he knew what he was doing or not, going against the world banking structure and all that stuff, what he did was got a shitload of German soldiers, good German Christian men that wanted to fight for their country and preserve what they thought was, this is my home. These are my children. It's beautiful here. Like, we don't want that kind of stuff. I'm going to stand up and go do the right thing. Right. And we've got people here doing that. Hey, I want to fight for America. Right. So our military is even in the same situation that was over there with Trump now, right? Sell the story to these idiots, They're 18, 19 years old. Why do we want them young? Because they're moldable, they're shapeable, So you take this whole story with Germany and that's what happens. All the Nazi officers escaped to blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Well, Klaus Schwab's father was one of those guys. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Klaus Schwab's father was a card-carrying Nazi officer, right? Klaus Schwab identifies as Jewish. Why didn't he beat the hell out of him when he was spit out of the womb, right? Like, why? You got to wonder. Well, how is he Jewish, right? Nazis hated the Jews; they killed them all, right? It doesn't make sense. You start putting all those stories together that way, you go, holy shit! Like, there's a lot more going on behind all of this than anybody could have ever recognized. Did they really kill Hitler? I don't know. There's stories of him and his daughters growing up in Argentina, right? So this is where I'm going with the whole thing with the military here, right? The Nazi officers over there are going to be our Nazi officers here if there's a merger between the United States military and their military, right? So all these technologies being in their hands militarily, they're kind of useless without graphene, because graphene is the eyes for AI. If these are AI driven systems, they might be able to recognize certain people, but they're building a 3-dimensional framework for everything. That is the silhouette of your face 3-dimensionally. If your face is coated in graphene nanoparticulate dust or whatever, like, that's what graphene is being. That's the primary use for graphene. That's the end of the video for me. That's the the part of the Iron Dome system. That's the part of the video that's the staple, right? Is that the primary use of graphene is for its imaging capabilities. That's what they're using it for across the board in every freaking. I don't know if it's stronger in the asphalt. I don't know if it makes the concrete better. I don't know if it makes the color of my clothes last longer. Right. They did the same thing with aluminum. Oh, you set it and forget it. You don't ever have to worry about it again. Aluminum. Now it's graphene. Aluminum 5.0 is what graphene is. So this is where we're at. It's a readable system. They're building that digitized framework out of it. Everything and everywhere that has a wavelength or something coming out of it, it creates a readable. It creates a readable image with the use of that vibrational thing. Could be the sun, could be anything, right? Doesn't matter. But whatever that range of whatever is, it's creating a digitized replica of all of the things within that sensor's range, whether that's sonic or you know acoustic values stuff or visual or light based frequency, right? No matter what it is, that's all being picked up by AI now, all of it. So that shit is graphene. The other shit, the 2-part system, somebody was just complaining on Facebook in the Paint Can Brigade group. Mine's up, but it's not working. And you see all the clouds are nice, healthy, cumulus clouds. And I'm trying to explain that for, I don't know, over a year, I think now. I don't know how long, really. I don't pay attention. I just try and answer as many questions as I see them, and I try and hammer off on as much as I can gather about it, right? But through observation and learning, like my buddy Toby is in North Dakota, was asking me questions. Like, we've all been doing this stuff in the shadows for the last year, and that's when I tell you this paywall is an absolutely necessary thing, it absolutely is. I'm speaking to you guys like this is a military kind of thing. Right. But it's the free people against the corporations. The corporations have been let off the leash. Do whatever the fuck you want. And I got my money out of you. Thank you. You made me rich. This is awesome. So the finance is the method by which they do all of this stuff. Like, it's the measurement system that shows, are you a piece of shit or are you a person with integrity? I'm no rich guy, right? If I become rich, it'll be because of you guys, but like for them as a carpenter, no, I'm not rich. I've never been rich. I've been a corporate guy and like, man, I made more money there than I think I ever did in my life. But this is what we're facing right now. People making sound decisions. Well, then how are they going to make a sound decision if they don't know that graphene is on everything? Every movement they're doing is being tracked. Everything that they say around a digital recording device is being collected and quantified and cataloged so that they can build that replica of you, knowing your specific range of your voice to be able to recognize that. All of these things factored in. All of these things factored into the way that AI is supposed to work. You're taking the equation of the graphene out of it. That's what you're doing. It still blows around, right? It still blows around, but it's not static charge. It's not sticking to everything. It's not dropping in raindrops, right? Raindrops and landing on and adhering to a silica based whatever substrate, Oh my God, it froze again. I was just on a freaking I was on a rant right there. I was doing good. I felt really good talking there. Same thing to people. Healthy cumulus clouds will not break those up. Yeah, well, it's not that it doesn't break the healthy cumulus clouds up. Pretty much anything that is a cumulus cloud is built out of charged particulates. Did I blank out on a lot of people? Oh, all right, good. So the full video will be available later. Then that's all. So that's what these paint cans do, is they take that charge out of the sky. They're utilizing that charge in the creation of those clouds to deliver the payload, which is the graphene from the stratosphere. So the water vapor that they're creating with the cloud seeding is binding up all of the graphene from above, pouring that onto things, right? That's why it rains twice a week, no matter where you're at. So if you're worried about the vaccines, this gave me a kind of positive feeling thinking about it. But the vaccines got graphene oxide in them, right? It attaches and adheres. Why two parts in the vaccines, right? One was to make the membranes inside your body, to coat them in a sticky substance, is what I'm assuming, right? And then the other one was the graphene as the antenna to land on that cell so that Wi-Fi and wireless technology could program what's going on in that cell. So the people that had bad responses, I think that was an intended thing. Get everybody looking at the ones who are dying. There's people still arguing in courts right now about vaccines. That shit is over with, man. But the other people that are still kicking after it, some of them say they've got problems here or there, but graphene is what that mRNA was all about, wirelessly programming the way that their cells work, the neural response inside the brain via telephoresis, right? To reroute the neural pathways in the processes of, right? So, that shit, you're stopping that shit. So if you're not knocking the silica out of the sky, it's because it's not a conductive compound like graphene, right? So it's still working for keeping the delivery system away, right? It's like a heroin addict having a whole bunch of heroin, but no needle, right? What does he do? He's just gonna fucking eat it and die or something. So that's their next option, maybe. Just dump a whole thing, So some vaxxers are just saying, I don't think that was. I think that was definitely the outcome. My personal opinion, the intended outcome there was for some people to die, so nobody would recognize what's actually happening here, right? With this imagery system stuff and building this network for AI, right? You think about it, COVID ID, right? COV, Certificate of Vaccination, ID 19, AI, A1I9, So it's isn't there a form? I remember I used to have to give these out to employ people, but isn't it an I-9 form, the tax form that you have to give somebody to identify themselves, right? So that's wild. That's a wild thing, But so, what I wanted to conclude with here was, I want you guys all to make me rich. I'm kidding. What I'm going to do for you guys, anybody that's a Black Helicopter Crew person that goes over onto the webpage and gets in there, I'm going to make the two avenues for communication, not for me. Like, like, not that I'm like, oh, he's a fucking sensation. I don't look at any of that. Like, my buddies are like, oh, you're fucking famous. I'm like, no, dude. Like, whatever, on all of that stuff. But Those are going to be the two platforms that I'm going to leave open for everyone else to communicate on. You guys are free to say whatever the hell you want. Shane, you are a son of a bitch and piece of shit. I fucking hate your guts and you're out of your goddamn mind. I don't care what you say on there. I will leave it up and you will get a response, right? You will get a response, So as often as I can, if I can keep up with it. But this shit between Facebook, this stuff with here, not knowing what's going to go through or how it's going to get there. And it's not about you guys making me rich. I don't want anybody to make me rich, right? I want to be able to afford my bills, and that's all that I want. So the Black Helicopter Crew is going to be strictly for the people who are going to be either teaching other people around them to put these things together or mass producing them for themselves. And not for themselves, but for everybody around them. We're with you, Brigadier. Yeah. So, the idea is to get them all out and get them all delivered to as many people as you can. And that's what that group is for. So if you're planning on building one or two, you can find all of that here on Substack. There's a video somewhere down through my videos at the earliest segments of me being here that shows what the parts are, how they work, and whatever. I'm pretty long-winded. I usually explain pretty well. So, but as far as being like, hey, I want to go in and learn how to make it and then quit. It's going to cost you $200 to do that, right? You want to make one or buy one, right? That's why the pricing is where it is, right? You want to buy one, it's $200 roughly, right? Or $250 or something. But I've been giving discounts to the people that want to buy them. So for the people that are building them, I want those guys to be priced accordingly. Be reasonable, and that's a good range. Is between $200 and $250. Does anyone manufacture the cans on a large scale? I do. We've made 50 of them in like 2 days last week. So there's about 10 or 12 people on the web page right now. It's not very hard if you have the right tools. If you have a wood shop, you're set to go. You're set to go if you got good household, a miter saw, a bandsaw, a drill press. Those three things right there, you can probably put 100 of these things out a week. Probably put out 100 a week just with those three tools. Need to be 1 can per acre for it to be fully effective. I can't tell at this point. Like, it's hard for me to do any kind of study on it. That I've been very observational on how it works and whatnot. But like every time I put them up, the sky just gets bluer and bluer up this whole valley where I live. So, but the onslaught of planes comes with it afterwards. And my son was just a place that's like an hour and a half away from here today. He's like, Dad, did you put a paint can out? Did you sell one out in blah, 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 Pennsylvania? I'm like, I said, no. But he was stoked. He's like, I saw one in somebody's front yard. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I said, what did the sky look like? It was blue as hell. He said, it was all big, beautiful clouds, Nice mild day today. It was 70 to 74 degrees or something, crisp and clear and blue, except for that place I drove down to. I was like looking at the wall of the white shit. But there were regular cumulus clouds inside of that white shit down that way. We had regular, nice, puffy cumulus clouds all day over me, So there's definitely a harmonization to it. There's a lot more stuff that goes with it. But I'm working on how to stop the silica. That's been a thing on my mind for probably a year now, because I knew there was something else there, and whatever it is, it's not conductive because it doesn't break apart with these things. You can't get it to go away. The good news is there's no graphene to be delivered with it, so the next thing they might decide to start doing, and this is like, I'm talking too much already, in my pride and my ego, like, hey, I figured it out. I know that, right? I'm fucking telling AI that I haven't figured out. Like, that's why I'm doing the paywall thing, guys, so please, I think that's probably going to be the better place to land. Like, I really want to do the Egypt thing, and I want to explain the star thing and why the sensibility in all of the flat Earth stuff is there. And when you see it from the angle that I'm explaining that from, you say, oh my God, like, wow, like they're giant paint cans is what they are. It's a resonance machine, and The only factor that I need to know is what is outer space? Is it water? Is it not? So if you guys are making comments here, they're not going to stay. They don't come back. They don't come back once I post the video. So if you say anything you want other people to see, do that after the fact. I'll upload it as soon as it's available. Um, but yeah, so the paid program, I want to at least be a high ranking official in the whole program. It's not that I want to commandeer the entire thing and just like be the, like, hey, this guy saved the world and, like be the Trump of fucking paint cans or something like that. Like I'm saying, like this is the blue collar world fighting back against, those little snotty technology guys with their fancy fucking PhDs and whatnot, like throwing it in your face. The guys that where their brains stopped working once they received that paper, you know, um, but the ones who are actively building these technologies with or without knowing that they're doing this to us. So I want to fight against that, and I think we all need to at this point, no matter who you are. If you can understand what I'm trying to lay out here, this whole framework idea of 3D imaging and technology and the digital world and all that stuff. If you can understand what I'm saying there, you can see that this is the probably the most important message that could be out there for people is to recognize the technologies. Number one, know where you're at, right? If I don't know that I live on a flat earth, if I live my entire life thinking everything is a globe, I'm always going to believe that the stars and the planets are blah, 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 right? So now there's a reason for NASA to do this and blow shit up and send that over there and aerospace engineering and whatnot. But now they're doing all these measurements when I put paint cans up. I caught them over and over again. They're doing big loops where the paint cans go up. They just stay hovered up in the sky trying to figure out what the fuck is the anomaly down there. So that's what they're really doing with the money. All these clandestine operations, the secret shit that DARPA does. That's where the funding comes for it, right? Where are we going to get all of our money to give to the bought out scientists and the whoever, so this is that kind of thing. If you don't know that graphene is the way that they make all of that other shit work, you're not going to be able to defend yourself from it. You're not going to know that your phone is the primary reporting system. That's the biggest snitch that you've ever met in your entire life. Every fucking thing you do, what you say, what you see, what you buy, right? What you consume most of the time. So all of that is right here. This digitized world is the nightmare um, that just came to life. It came to life. Black Mirror, you're watching that stuff. Black Mirror came to life. It's Freddy Krueger, right? It's anything you've ever been afraid of. It's recorded. It's known, you know. Not with VHS tapes and stuff, back in the day it was good, but I guess I'm done with the video here, but I'll repost this, and I really want to get this message out to other people if you don't mind, guys. But there will be clips on the YouTube page as well, and that usually just carries right over from here. So if it gives me a full video, the YouTube page that's an old one, but it's called "You Can't Handle the Truth." 7157 is the end numbers on it. I don't know where they came from. I didn't add them, but that was the name of the page. You Can't Handle the Truth. So you'll be able to see any of the video clips. It gives short clips there. What countermeasures have you experienced, if any, when the flyovers happen? They seem to double up on the silica stuff. They double up on the silica stuff, and it's where you can start feeling your throat is just like gunky, and your nose is like you could blow your nose 20 times, but it still feels like it's all crudted up with stuff. Um, but it's in your airways. It's getting in your airways, and it's like and that's the best observation that I have, Omi, by the way. I mean, I don't um, countermeasures. I don't. The whole thing is, if they are definitely smarter than me, right? It's their science that's doing all of this stuff, so they can try and explain all that other stuff however they want. They can try and explain all that other stuff that they want. But it's ether. It's the element that we were told doesn't exist. That element, that fabric in all living things, in all the air, the water, your body, the plants, that fifth element, the fabric, the one thing that permeates all things is that spiral, right? Like the at or the golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral sequence, whatever, right? But that is the fabric. That's the ether. That's the Heka from ancient Egypt, right? The one fabric in all things. Um, but me understanding that and taking that as a fact and understand it the way that I do, I mean, that's why the paint cans work, is because I understood how that whole thing goes. They're not going to admit that with their fancy piece of paper. They're not going to say, "Oh, the ether is a real thing." Like maybe it'll come out eventually, but as far as the one thing that all things travel upon, whether that's mass, light, or sound, or what, that is in everything. That spiral format, the ocean wave, the wind gusts, the um, all life, just in the embryo alone, but. Um, so, being at a spiritual place there, understanding all that stuff from where I'm living right now, saying this is what I see, this is what I know now because I see it, I understand it, I've learned it. So now that I'm concreted in the way that I see these things, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to fight back from the point of knowing. And that's why it's so dangerous to know that you are on a flat earth, right? As a topic. That's why it's so dangerous for you to be so sure of your own health. Because if you're afraid of, oh my God, I better go to the doctor, right? There's a market built on your fear. There's markets built on your fear. That's how they've always existed. That's how the resources have always been there. Data. Think about what data comes out of you being afraid. You know, oh my God, I think I got the COVID. Boom, I'm on the phone. How do I avoid it? Right? Get flooded with all of this shit from some, you know, algorithm uh curated bullshit fucking feed, right? And guess what? You're going to get vaccinated. That's the best answer. Best answer I come up with, right? So don't be afraid of any of that shit now. For forevermore, don't be afraid of anything. You got to come to a place of knowing. You are the conduit that God works through. You are God's will. That's the big part of it. You are God's will. It's not God's will that, right? All that's if you got to read the Gnostic books and come to alchemize. Yeah. Yeah, I'm there. I'm definitely, I tell you, I learned a lot of stuff, um, but that's where you have to position yourself now. I'm here. This is what that is. I know what this is, right? Yeah, babies being vaccinated. I know what this is. And guess with what? Always aluminum. There hasn't been a vaccine ever that hasn't had aluminum in it. Aluminum is for the imaging. It's irradiated. It is it's and the radioactive isotope. It's what it is, The hill to die on. Yeah, I stand here. This is where I am. This is what I know, right? And I'm not saying like, hey, I want to be Charlie Manson. Well, you guys are like, dude, no, I don't want a fucking cult. I want everybody else to wake the fuck up and stop drinking and stop doing all this senseless bullshit, right? Stick your head in a book and go, oh my God, we're like at a crux right now that they're like, once everybody gets there and public perception hits the actuality of things, not the actuality, like, holy shit. I listened to what Shane said about looking at blah, 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 and he was right about that, right? Or I've looked at blah, 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 and Shane was wrong, right? So don't take my word for it, right? I'm not a politician. I don't expect or demand you to listen to everything that I say. It's going to be this way or that's it. Who the fuck am I? I'm nobody, right? It's me. I've got to do the work, right? And that's where I'm at. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I have a surety in it that it's never been there before in my life. I used to do like, what the hell's going on? Like when I first started doing Facebook videos, what the hell's going on? And I would start yakking on about all kinds of different stuff. God knows what, but I've just given the honest me in those conversations. Yeah, but it's the fear. It's the fear that is going to end up landing all of us into, uh, a new world that we don't want anything to do with, where everything you do will be turned into some form of currency, right? All of everything you do will be that'll be the usury. Breathing will be somebody else will be cashing in on how many breaths you take, what level, oh, this guy's got, Thanks, homie. Can all add to the solutions. Right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we gotta be sharp. We have to be deliberate. We have to be clean, right? You have to be clean, no bias. You can't be polluted of the mind either, right? So your politics, no matter what you think about those politics, I'm telling you, it's I was there. I was there, and I've broken away from all of it so I could get a clean view of the world from it's like water, right? It tastes like Kool-Aid. Well, what am I gonna do now? You know, you have to filter out the Kool-Aid to filter out the Kool-Aid. You have to filter out the sugar, reprocess the water. Can you do that? I don't know. It's all mixed in. You know, don't put the Kool-Aid in there. Don't put the Kool-Aid into the water. You are that walking water. You are the memory of all things around you. You know, so what you see and you adhere to, you know, this is the place. You are the answer. It's you aren't Trump will save the day or Jesus will save the day or God's coming back here and doing whatever and all that stuff. Like take all of it and put it on the side and say, you know, none of this happens without me, right? Your consciousness has to put some form of life into those things, right? So your consciousness puts your form into yourself. Like, boy, I want to be smart. I want to learn. I want to read. That's what I devoted myself to at the beginning of COVID, you know? So, it's, uh, it's a humbling place for me. And I love where I'm at. I love how I found all of it. I love that other people actually had some form of adoration for it, you know, but, at this point, you've gotta do something, and the best thing that I've come up with so far was that, you know, the paint can thing, but, learning your reality, you know, learning what, you know, what this what are actual things. Why do we use the word reality? What are we doing over again here, right? We're, you know, actuality. What is gave a lot of people 20/20 vision. Yeah, and they're made to look crazy too, Chuz, yeah. So, be forever curious, don't let it die, you know? "Hey, I'll give you the answer. Ask me a question, I'll give you the answer." Right? Once I give you the answer, how much faith do you have in me? "Well, I got this fancy paper." You know, "This fancy paper will put you," like, "Oh, he must be right." Right? That's the way they build these systems is this, this fabricated truth and things. It's just a bunch of superficial lies and bullshit. That's what the entire mainstream fucking world is. "Look at how beautiful that lady," right? And then you see all these, like, you know, this is Angelina Jolie without makeup. Oh, you know, like whatever, you know what I mean? But the level of faith that people put in all of these other things outside of them rather than just believing in themselves for things, you know, are you fat? Go fucking hit the gym. Go hit the gym. Don't call somebody, hey, you got a magic pill for me? Go to the gym. Live different. Start doing things different, you know? If um are you crazy? Don't go see a therapist. Learn how to do something about it. I don't know. I heard like doing LSD or not LSD, but mushrooms. They say psychedelic mushrooms are good for that. But you know, whatever that problem is that you have, don't offload the responsibility on someone else. Take you know, take your own personal inventory. You know, figure out how to fix that problem on your own. You know, and that's where I'm always at. You know, as I'm a contractor in my life. If my favorite tool breaks. Oh my god, well, what am I gonna do? I literally hammered nails in with rocks before. With rocks because I didn't wanna have my productivity for the day that I was working, disrupted by that, and I was, like, a big prospect for being a guy that led one of these companies, you know, and, my fucking hammer fell down inside of the goddamn concrete form. Banging everything together with rocks, but I was the only one working there, you know? So, it's just like you do whatever you gotta do with everything, right? The paint cans are another thing. If they stop selling paint cans, I'll figure something else out to do about it. What are you gonna do about copper? I don't know, but that one we better all get together and do like a cloud strike thing and, put as much money as you can into buying the resources or buying the stocks or the controlling portions of it because once the copper goes, we're in big trouble. Copper is the answer across the board on every unhealthy thing that we experience. Every single one, man. I'm planting strawberries right now, and because the other ones just fizzled out on me. I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about planting anything. Get all your pennies. Yeah, if they're still the ones without copper in them, but um, there's a reason, man. You know, start building your home. Put a grounding rod on it. Run a grounding wire through the entire property, right, all the way around the yard and make sure that that's grounded off. Start planting your plants next to that copper wire and watch the difference in the growth or the yield of whatever that is, tomatoes or whatever, peppers and whatnot, but it's a profound thing. Like to learn the copper stuff is really, really cool. Copper literally does everything. This is what I started putting these coils inside of the paint cans. I did one for my mom, but air under pressure, like everything travels in that shape, you know. So don't start asking me about the fucking coils and the fucking paint cans, please. I'll put it on the other thing, I don't know what's good. I don't really mean is good advice, but so yeah, man, just start looking at everything through your own eyes, your own interface, right? This is the God within and the God without, right? God is the all permeating essence, the life in every breath, right? When they say these kinds of things, it's the ocean wave, right? God, the ground, the house grounding wire. Yeah. They stopped making that. That used to be like a requirement when you were building a house. You put a grounding rod on it. You'll see results. Tim, take a copper wire, take 2 strawberry plants. This is what I did. I put the copper wire spun stick in next to one strawberry plant. I think 2 years ago, maybe. I don't know how long ago, but I took 2 strawberry plants a few years ago or a couple of years ago. The one had a copper wire right next to it. The other one didn't. They were about 3 feet apart. Same amount of sunlight, same type of earth. It was just the dirt that my grass was growing in, and 3 times the size. The one that had the copper into the root soil system. And get yourself the book, the Fertile Earth and Nature as Teacher by Victor Schauberger. Both of those are in the same line of books. There's actually 5 of those books. They're great. They're great. But that other plant with the copper in the soil, 3 times the size, wasn't supposed to get any strawberries. I got 9 big, full, luscious. The other part is the insects, right? Like any of the predators or whatever, like parasites or whatever for the leaves. Every leaf pristine. That was one of the biggest thing I noticed. Like, oh, that plant looks so damn healthy, And then, so I was having a conversation the other day too. This is a real interesting point about something. And I might have said this in a live somewhere, or I don't know yet, but it might be reaching. It could be reaching. I don't know. I don't think that insects like healthy things that are alive and vibrant and healthy, right? Um, what do you see when you see a dead animal carcass? It's right. It's dead, rotting flesh. It's, but it's a food source for parasites, right? It's a food source for parasites. Whether it's a deer got hit on the side of the road, what do you see on it all the time is mosquitoes, right? Flies, larvae of some sort or whatever, maggots and stuff and all that, but they live off of dead things. So why are mosquitoes always landing on me? I tested this, right? I tested this. Why are mosquitoes always landing on me? And my buddy was, whatever, when you're a kid, that guy, they don't like you. I must taste better. We would always say, right? No, you taste deader, right? That's what's happening when you're putting polyester on your body. The vibration of your body is what they're attracted to. So in high vibration, if you're wearing good clothes and your feet aren't grounded, all right, or rubber or insulated off from grounding the rest of your body, right? So do that as a test for yourself. Just wear nothing but polyester for 2 days. Go outside or 1 day, as long as you can stand it. Go out in your backyard and just sit in a lawn chair with no citronella or whatever, right? Just sit in a chair and wait and see what happens while you're sitting there in that polyester. Then go in the house, take a shower, wash all the dead skin or whatever on your body off. Put on all linen. Don't wear any underwear either, because there's a rubberized strap in the underwear at your root chakra. That's the reason we started getting all the, diabetes increases and stuff, microwaves inside the house and whatnot. But so that's a different kind of spiritual weird thing. But now the next day, wear all linen. Next day, wear all linen and do the same thing, and keep your bare feet in the grass, in the earth, and see how many mosquitoes bother you then. No panties. Yeah, I can't get away with that one, man. I should no, but so it's dead, rotting flesh is what these things are after. No matter what they tell us in all these books, there's a vibration, there's a frequency that the mosquitoes are attracted to. I've done it, and I'm like, they're not out today. I can't get it. Why are these mosquitoes not biting me today? They were eating me alive one day. The next day, I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. And I was like, oh my God. They flew around me, right? They flew around me. I could see them in places and stuff, but I didn't get bit. I didn't see any land on me. Why are they doing that? They go after dead things. So you live a life in death, basically. You're a rotting thing. So now what do? You go and you get a copper bracelet, copper armband, you ground yourself to the earth, become healthier, all of the cells stop sticking together and forming rouleau or whatever you call that shit, right? Where the cells all stack together. Now everything's happy and flowing, and right, the body comes back to electromagnetic harmony because you've grounded off to the earth. So you take that copper stick and you put it into the ground next to, these microbes, number one, are fed by it. So they'll stay around even though there's aluminum in the soil oxidating, killing everything. That's what the bacteria runs away from. So now you have the copper in the ground, and what happens, everything stays healthier, because there's a transition. It's like a buffer zone for etheric energy. You're feeding that energy directly into the soil rather than oxidation happening. The oxidation is rot. Oxidation is rot. So you got to wonder now. You start thinking about oxygen that way. We breathe oxygen, and I saw this thing by Dr. Thomas Cowan. Look this up. I'm telling you, look this up. This will complete what I have to say here. Dr. Thomas Cowan, Cowan, Dr. Thomas Cowan. Go look him up on Facebook and do a search for Dr. Thomas Cowan on oxygen, or just Google it on Google it and watch him talk about oxygen. He says we don't need oxygen to breathe. Right. He has such a great oh my God, you have to see that. But that'll complete what I'm trying to say to you. Oxygen is not as good. It's the hydrogen, I think, is what we use out of the air. We use hydrogen. The plants use hydrogen. In this backwards, upside down world where black is white and white is black, unstable message. Yeah, it sucks. This sucks. So, all right, guys, I'll post this later on. And it was nice. It was nice catching up with y'all. I'm glad that I have my fucking brain back, man, for a change. I love it when I'm thinking this way and so clear. It's that's not too often these days. And I don't know what's going on around me, but I'm going to be able to do a hell of a lot more with my next couple days, and join the Black Helicopter Crew. It's $200 for the year. It's going to be a network of people like we have on the Paint Can Brigade, but everybody will be able to see each other. It won't be held away from each other like on Facebook, man. H3O2, yeah. Living water, yeah. So I wish I could read all of these. Oxygen deteriorates everything, yeah. So oxidation, you hit someone with an electrical charge or a stronger electromagnetic field, flame to a corn kernel, oxidation, you know. So when you freeze something, hydrogen becomes more purified hydrogen. Interesting for sure. Fascia massage, getting the same, yeah. Oxygen deteriorates everything. The guy is so freaking brilliant, man. Dr. Thomas Cowan is one of my favorite people on earth. I'd give him an ass massage if he asked me. Like I'm not gay. But I would do it. Like because I love the guy. Like I love his videos, man. That guy is one of the smartest men I think he was the first thing that got me on this line of thinking right out of the gate with COVID. The guy is just so smart, and it's all common sense. He looks at everything from common sense perspective. I've taught this; it didn't work. I was, a legitimate in the hospital doctor. Guess what? Didn't work. People were still dying. So he goes and starts doing these things. He brought the thing up about COVID, and I watched that in live time as I was watching the video. I got halfway through, and I can't help with this COVID thing. He says in this one video, he's standing at a whiteboard. Cowan. Cowan. That's it. Yep. Just believe in viruses, not to believe in viruses. Yeah. It's because they're not real. The viruses are a response. The viruses are literally exosomes. They're the information it's the dead material. It's the dead material from the cells. I read so much about that, man. There's what's the hell? Oh, I have a book in the house about secret the secret life of your cells or something. It's called the secret life of our cells or your cells. Who the hell was the author? I don't know. But that book explains the same thing basically, copper fabric and wire. Yeah, even copper on your clothes, copper dust. You don't want to inhale it and you don't want uh, copper oxide to get on you or in your body. Our viruses are dead cell debris in the packages, in the exosomes. That's how they communicate with each other. You drink beer, there's alcohol. The cell recognizes mitochondria, as the antenna inside is, hey guys, we're sick. Something got in. We got to defend ourselves right now. They all flush themselves out of 50% of their own water just to get that toxin out into the bloodstream, wash that away. So I take a little sip of wine. Oh, shit, I got to piss like I just drank 4 6-packs. What the hell is going on? My bladder, right? You run to the bathroom, you take your piss. Why did you have to piss so bad right there at that point? Because your cells are smart enough to exchange fresh living water for the deadest stuff that it already has. Another side effect of barium, you absorb barium into your bloodstream and into your cellular structure, right? And it makes the cells hydrophobic. It creates a some kind of galvanic response or something, and it coats the cell in like a zinc or something like that. But the cell won't exchange healthy water anymore. They're spraying strontium that destroys your red blood cells. The cancer rates are increasing, right? We're breathing in barium. We're breathing in strontium. No red blood cells. No exchange of water. Here's some fucking aluminum dust, guys. That's where all of our cancers have been. And then the final blow. Here's some frequency to ionize and oxidate all of those things inside of your body. Bam. I just explained the entire healthcare fraud. That's I think I just basically said to you, you know. Frequencies definitely, yeah. The frequencies are the absolution. The frequencies are the biggest point, man. The frequencies are the biggest thing about all of it. It's the frequency. It makes it all happen. So I guess I'm done with this video. I wanted to, I felt so solid about the way that I saw that and the way that I wanted to get people to understand it. But, if you guys would please go over there, if you want to be a builder and you want to take care of your area, I've got a 50-mile stretch of my area that is defending everything eastward of me all the way over to New York City, man. To New York City, I'm sure that their self-driving cars aren't doing real good over there. They can't get, unless hey, this is the car wax you got to use on those self-driving cars, or all of the other cars, right? You're going to the new car wash that has only been using graphene car polish, right? You're building the system for that self-driving car with its infrared sensors on the front of that car, able to recognize all these other things. They tell you, oh, it's built off wavelengths and audio, blah, 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 or they don't tell you that it's infrared specifically. So it's all infrared. This is why everybody's eyes are going bad. Infrared in everything across the board, man. So that's probably why they say we transmit frequencies. Yeah. Well, your biofield becomes, knocked out. But the overall point I was getting to with the Thomas Cowan thing was that the cells of the plants are in electromagnetic harmony. You are harmonizing the earth by using that copper coil. So when you're creating negative ions, right, the earth is supposed to be a negative ion. When there's oxygen in the earth, or not oxygen, I'm sorry, but when there's aluminum in the earth, I don't know what aluminum is. I'm going to look up what kind of ions aluminum generates, but I'd be willing to bet they're positive ions. But that's what allows it to float in static charge, right? So satellites being that far up, right? Being made of aerodynamic materials. What are they? Non-magnetic, right? It's not that they're, right? They use a jet propulsion system to get it up there, but in that band of frequency, I was waiting for it. Harmonization. Yeah. It's the harmonization of all things. So you're creating the equilibrium, you're creating the balance, right? Like this is what I actually wanted to write a book on that named Equilibrium, like the balance in all things, not being about copper, but frequency and stuff. Like I done a lot of reading on really cool esoteric stuff, man. Like so much. And I see clear, I see with a clarity now, and I'm so happy to share it with people. I'm so happy other people want to see it, but um, anyway, that page over there, guys, go to that website, www dot most censored dot online. Um, it's not dot net or dot, whatever. It's dot online. That's I bought that thing. I bought that whole thing. So, um, yeah, helium blues. It's lighter than all the other stuff. So there's different ranges of frequency. The lighter things are like, all right. So I want to take a comparison. This is what I was thinking about on my drive home today because I have a wandering mind. I'm thinking about birds. They're always up in the air. They're grounded less frequently than any other thing. I want to take a cell of a bird and compare it to the cell of a salamander. Is there more of a positive charge in birds? How do their cells react, to not being grounded all the time? Like, why is their composition so much different than mine? Or what is the difference in the cells in regards to electromagnetic fields, So, like, if you're drawing the earth, that's one of those things. If you're drawing the earth, um, let's just say the hemisphere, let's just say this is all ocean. Side view of half of the planet. If you don't agree with the flat earth thing, whatever. It's all water. Negative. All positive, right? Equilibrium between the two, the harmonization of these fields, more magnetic the deeper you go. All of the densest material, if I take a piece of iron and I let it sink into the ocean, it's the densest material, will drop to the bottom. Densest, Omi. So the densest materials will drop to the bottom. Those that have been oxygenated will float up a little bit further up, right? So why are there three different atmospheres inside of the ocean? Different magnetic values as you descend, different electrical values as you ascend. The further up you go, the more electrical potential. Where do the satellites all hang out? Up here. Everything travels in a vortex. The vortices is the thing in all things. The God, the vortices is the God. So it's the breath of life, the fifth element, right? On the pentagram, the one that governs over all the others, you know, the nine that always goes back to itself, right? Is nine, right? Nine times nine is 81. 8 plus 1 is nine. Nine is I. The ninth letter of the alphabet is I. Me, my interface for seeing everything outside. I. The nine is the top of the pyramid, guys, in Vortexian math. Um, Again, you take 9 ones. You ever do this thing? You multiply 9 ones times 9 ones. Your answer ends up being 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you wrote that this way, count from 1 to 9, back to 1. That's the answer to that as a math problem. 111,111,111 times itself equals that. That's the Nikola Tesla stuff that he was always talking about, or the vortex in all things, right? But you are the God. You are the top of the pyramid, the crown. I'm the priest, and I'm standing on the altar. I'm above everyone else. I'm the one gathering the most etheric energy from the steeple that is the highest building inside of my town, with the copper top on it, by the way, that is inside of a squared resonant chamber, right? Built kind of like a cloud buster, where I'm going with all this stuff. So, like, when you start to see things from that perspective, you go, like, where did all these numbers come from, man? You guys can see. So, yeah, anyway, I know this is the kind of stuff that I want to go through. I like that stuff more than anything because that's really brought some clarity to my mind. The Walter Russell books and Helena Blavatsky and Rudolf Steiner and who's the big one? I'm just thinking of the biggest one. I don't know. Can't bring it all to mind right now, but all right, guys, I'm out. I'm out, and I hope you enjoyed this. But please, if you would not mind, join that page as a paid subscriber. It's $3, I think, a month for the least expensive one, and you can have access to the who all the builders are. So I'm going to post that as across the board, except for I don't want the free people coming onto the page seeing, oh, the builder is here. This is the guy in that area. This is the zip code or whatever. It's not going to be zip code related. I'm going to give you an email to an email. So somebody sends me an email from blah, blah, blah. I've done my job. I've connected you to that builder in whatever location. It might be Ireland. And this is fuzzyballs99 at gmail.com is the guy that's the builder. What I'm going to try and do is get all of them named Paint Can Brigadier or Brigadier something or Paint Can something, right? So they all have the same kind of email. And that way it's easier to tell who they are, and they don't have to identify themselves. It's me, Charlie Davis from high school, but because this is legitimate. All this other stuff is, I'm telling you, that will be the network that's going to change a lot of shit, man. There's people everywhere with these things, and they're seeing the same results. The same results. The helicopters are coming. Everybody's wondering. They're all freaked out. North Carolina. Yeah, build down in North Carolina. I've got good friends down there, Omi. Build in North Carolina. Build, make them. That's one of the worst states that I've ever landed in my life. Charlotte, I could not believe it was just plane after plane after plane landing at the airport a few years, 5 years ago, probably now. I don't know, 4 or 5 years. But I'm watching the planes and I'm going, oh my God. And then I saw another plane didn't have any trails. Like, hey, that's at the same elevation, but that one has a trail and that one has a trail. I'm just looking out the window, talk to this young black kid. He's like a basketball star of some sort for a college. And I said, look, why did all those? And he's like, wow, I don't know. So I was on it for a while, but that kind of stuff is rock solid. You guys in North Carolina are getting fucking hammered down there, but build these things, man. And I'm not saying come to me to build them. You don't have to pay me anything if you've watched all the other videos. There's a video on here to build the regular ones, guys. So you don't have to pay anything. But a lot more people don't understand the reality behind how they work, the way that they do work, and that they do work. They don't get that shit is all happening. The graphene thing, this conversation has to fucking explode right now. This conversation needs to explode. AI can't see shit without all that stuff, like they did with aluminum back in the day, whatever, right? So it has to get recognized for people to start fighting back. The things they don't know are there. They don't even know the shit is there or why or whatever, So, I'm telling you, we have an upper hand right now, and I hope to God that you guys take what I'm saying to heart and understand that it's a reality. You don't have to give me your money to do any of it. Go down this page, figure out how to make one, take a ride to Home Depot, spend $100 on the parts for it, go home, build the goddamn thing, and call me tomorrow and tell me, Shane, you're a fucked up liar. It doesn't work, blah, 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 So I want you to do that. That's what I said to everybody last year in all my posts on Facebook. I said, go build one and then get back to me. Nobody ever came back. Nobody ever came back. They work, man. They work. So build them and sell them, whatever, but get them spread out around you. Get them spread out around you. And the bulk creation of these things is what I'm after. Because that's what's going to change everything. That's going to change everything. There's a silent war that nobody sees, right? We're under the radar now. I'm building the framework like they're building the framework. They're putting a framework up like, oh, it's smart this, it's smart that. Well, hey, good luck when your fucking electrons hit my copper coil, you bastards, right? I've done some really, really cool stuff. You want to know, like, your smart meter is fucking with your head in your house, grounded copper. Grounded copper is the answer for almost everything organic. Grounded copper. So, all right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'm getting hungry, and I hope that we had a good video here. But if you wouldn't be so gracious and at least get the minimum over there so I can dump this AI shit that's monitoring everything that I'm doing. Yours is still working like a charm. Yeah. And you're in Florida. I know they're hammering you guys, but I really want to migrate everything over to either that page and spend all my digital time there over Facebook. I've cut my Facebook time down to like 10% of what it normally is, and I didn't even look at they give you that data, like you spend your whatever on your phone. I don't look at any of that, but I'm telling you, like I opened it maybe twice, maybe 3 times today, just looking for messages, and I want to kill it altogether. I don't want to do any more of what I'm doing right now, talking about this stuff on my own personal page. I want everybody to say, "Oh, he's a fucking lunatic. He floated off to wherever," right? And I want that to be at a place that can help the people that understand what needs to be done. Then that something does need to get done. So if you go there and we all start working together on figuring out how to do it, it's going to be that, and BitChute is going to be the other one because that's completely unmoderated. They let you say pretty much everything that you want to say. So it's going to be those two. If I can't I tried to upload a video last night. It didn't upload onto that page, but it was an hour and 4 minutes because I was yak, 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 like I did here. I'm probably on 2 fucking hours already, but I feel so tuned in and I love it. I got my brain back, man. It's like hell having all that different stuff around you. I want to do this and I want to do that. Well, oh yeah, I got that. And I literally, I can't think without some form of medication or something, because there's just so much shit going on here all the fucking time, and it's a great thing to be able to just slow it all down. Well, I wanted to use BitChute for the black helicopter guys. You signed up on BitChute? Can you see the videos there or not, Chuck? I'm curious. The BitChute is the Paint Can Brigade. It's 4 different words, all different words with a capital at the beginning of each. Were you able to see the video? I did put a video on there. Were you able to watch that or no? So I got a page on there. Thanks, genius. The Paint Can Brigade on BitChute. That'll be the place where, I'll be doing live videos from now on there. And I might share them over to Facebook or somewhere, but this fucking AI stuff, I can't stand it anymore. They're like hammering down and not locking people out, closing you off from even opening videos after you paid for a subscription. That's fucked up. That's fucked up that they do that to people, man. You have no video right now? I'm gonna upload this. I'll upload it for you, Bruiser. I'm coming to like you. I don't know what your real name is. I think you were a friend of mine on another page or something in Facebook or something. I can't remember what you said. There's so many people, man. That's the other thing that I'm having a hard time with. Locating everybody, organizing everybody, having a file of this stuff, and can't see the comments. Yeah, they're all dying. So, all right, guys, man. Guys, man. Yeah, listen to me. I'll see you guys over there. I'm going to probably put an article up tonight. I feel really rambunctious and super tuned up. So, on censored tonight. That's where I'm going to put a paid for black helicopter today. All right. Yeah. I'll grant you access to the top tier stuff. And then I'll also, Chuck, I don't know if you did the top tier here, but I'll give you access here because the video I tried to put on the web page last night wouldn't attach it. It was too big. It was like 6 gigabytes of video or something. It was too much, and I can't get it to upload there unless I segment it. And I got to start figuring out how to do all that stuff on a computer again. I just don't remember. It's been a while, So, yeah, I'll hook you up there, Chuck. And I'm supposed to be done and ready for everybody today. Next video I have to put in parts. I think I'm going to put it in one solid post on the black helicopter crew. I'm going to put on one post. I'm going to give you little video clips. I'm going to show you like this is how you make your cookies individually or in bulk, and then I'll give you. Does anybody see the video or the? I put a page together there the other day of all the tools and everything on the black helicopter group. Did you see that, Chuck? I put all the little banners, what the tools are, what they look like. Even for people that aren't really construction friendly. We'll be on top tier today. Thanks, Bruiser. Over there, yeah, because I got to get rid of this. Somehow or some way, but I need a place to be able to do the raffles. This is holding good for that for now. And then it's going to be a very long process for me to pick out the emails that are attached to this and figure out what tier they are and give them the equivalent of that value over on the other page. But there's 5 different tiers over there. Like some of them are bound and gagged for all you perverts. That's one of the tiers. The other one's is cuffed and muzzled or something. And my son was reading. He's like, "Dad, what the fuck is wrong with you?" He goes, "What is wrong?" And I just see his head go back, and he starts roaring. Muzzled and cuffed. It's just like, but that's what it feels like, right? I was just talking when I labeled the page, and I started labeling the tiers. It was just like, just how fucking censored are you? What part of the group do you want to be a part of? I'm the one that gets spanked. I wear the fucking strap on. Like whatever. Like, it's just funny that I was able to label what type they were. So, like, the other tiers, like, he was fucking crazy. He was in tears. My son was in tears. He was laughing so hard. And then he called my other son. He's like, "Johnny," he goes, "you gotta listen to what Dad," and name the different tiers on here. That was funny. That was funny. But, so in those different levels of tiers, there's different things I'm gonna do with the videos. I think my T-shirts might be ready this week, I hope. But I'm gonna start raffling those off as well. I think I got 50 T-shirts for you guys. So pretty much everything I'm taking from like a profit, doing all this stuff, I'm putting it back into more stuff to to give with these things. So the shirts are gonna say things like censored, right? It's just gonna be censored. That's the word, censored. Period. Right. And that's it. That's one shirt, but trademarked. And that's the other cool part is the page is it's copyrighted. So anything I say over there. Love weird people, way to go. Yeah, I am weird. But, the T-shirts are gonna be a big thing, probably hats and stuff like that too, of the finest quality. I don't want any polyester anything. So, hope to try and win you a can. Yeah, that's if I could. I don't wanna stay into the in this process of building them because it's so much. So if my son takes up on that, um, we're gonna have a rough time in the wintertime. That's all I know, right? I do most of my money making is supposed to be in the summer as a contractor. Decks, porches, siding, windows, doors, things like that. On a small scale to get my kids up to where they need to be here. Like you get out there and you are the value in the money that you make. Like um, so I don't know what I'm gonna do through the wintertime. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take right now. But if I can get this stuff to grow to a point where it has a value to people and I can keep pumping, the actuality of what's going on in the world right now into other people, like, hey, public perception is where we all have to lie. We have to be able to see the truth in all things. You could have a feeling, you could have a little premonition or whatever, but I don't lay any of that stuff out. Like I think, I feel like blah blah blah, right? Like the majority is I know, this happened. So I'll give you those facts. You come up with the conclusion, right? Go look up graphene. I had somebody message me. They said, "Yo, I went and looked up graphene, like you said. I can't fucking believe it." Right? It was a big long message about how graphene works. Yeah, I'm telling you, do that deep dive. You know, do that deep dive. So thanks, Omi. And you got message me, please, and tell me who you are. I'm dying to know which person you are. I went to school with. All right, guys. Good night. They won't let me shut this off, so I have to swipe it out, and then it ends up with a 20-minute blank black screen at the end of the videos because AI wants to keep hearing what other shit I'm doing. Probably, I don't fucking know. See you later. Thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it, man. Linen bikinis with the logo on it. I like that idea. The really skinny ones, the ass floss. See you guys.